International Business, Masters of Commerce, second semester, Mangalore University, session 18. International Business Decision. In this session, you are going to learn about choosing the modes of entry. Learning objective to discuss about the choosing different modes of entering into international business. Session outcome, the students are able to understand about the merits and demerits of different modes of entering into international business. The seventh mode of international business is foreign direct investment. The foreign direct investment involves a company entering an overseas market by making a substantial investment in the country. Some of the modes of entry into international business using the foreign direct investment strategy includes mergers and acquisitions, joint ventures, and greenfield investments. This strategy is suitable when the demand or the size of the market or the growth potential of the market in the substantially large to justify the investments. I'll repeat again. This strategy is suitable when the demand or size of the market or the growth potential of the market in the substantially large to justify the investment. Some of the reasons because of which the companies opt for foreign direct investment strategy are the mode of entry into an international business can include first one, restriction on or the import limits on certain goods and products. Second, manufacturing locally can avoid import duties. Third, the companies can take advantage of low cost labor, cheap material. The advantages of foreign direct investments are you can retain your control over the operations and other aspects of your business. Second, leverage low cost labor, cheap material, etc. to reduce the manufacturing cost towards obtaining a competitive advantage over competitors. Third, many foreign companies can avail for subsidies, tax breaks, and other concessions from the local governments for making an investment in their country. The disadvantages are the business is exposed to high levels of political risk, especially in case the government decides to adopt the protectionist policies to protect and support the local business against the foreign companies. Second, this strategy involves substantial investment to be made for entering an international market. The eighth mode is the joint ventures. A joint venture is one of the preferred modes of entry into international business for businesses who do not mind sharing their brand, knowledge, and expertise. Companies wishing to expand into overseas markets can form joint ventures with local businesses in the overseas location, wherein both joint venture partners share the rewards and risks associated with the business. Both business entities share the investment, cost, profits, and losses at the predetermined proportion. This mode of entry into international business is suitable in countries wherein the governments do not allow 100% foreign ownership in certain industries. For instance, foreign companies cannot have a 100% stake in broadcast content services, print media, multi-brand retailing, insurance, power exchange sectors, and require to opt for a joint venture route to enter the Indian market. Some of the advantages of joint ventures are both partners can leverage their respective expertise to grow and expand within a chosen market. Second, the political risk involved in joint venture is lower due to the presence of the local partner having knowledge of the local market and its business environment. Third, it enables the transfer of technology, intellectual properties and assets, knowledge of the overseas market, etc. between the partnering firms. The disadvantages of joint venture are the joint ventures can face the possibility of cultural clashes within the organization due to difference in organization culture in both partnering firms. Second, in the event of dispute, dissolution of joint venture is subject to lengthy and complicated legal process. The ninth is the strategic acquisitions. Strategic acquisition implies that the company acquires a controlling interest in an existing company in the overseas market. This acquired company can be directly or indirectly involved in offering similar products or services in the overseas market. One can retain the existing management of the newly acquired company to benefit from the expertise, knowledge, and experience while having your team members positioned in the board of the company as well. The advantages of strategic acquisitions are the business does not need to start from scratch as one can use the existing infrastructure, manufacturing facilities, distribution channels, and an existing market share and a customer base. Second, the business can benefit from the expertise, knowledge, and experience of the existing management and key personnel by retaining them. Third, it is one of the fastest modes of entry into an international business on a large scale. The demerits of strategic acquisition are just like joint ventures, in acquisitions as well, there is possibility of cultural clashes within the organization due to the difference in organization structure. Second, apart from that, there mostly are problems with seamless integration of systems and process. Technological process difference is one of the most important issues in strategic acquisitions. Tenth is a wholly owned subsidiary, or we can call it as a greenfield venturing. Wholly owned subsidiary is a company whose common stock is fully owned by another company, known as the parent company. A wholly owned subsidiary may arise through acquisition or by a spin off from the parent company. The advantages of greenfield venturing are gain local market knowledge. It can be seen as an insider who employs locals and the maximum control. The disadvantages of greenfield strategies are, or the greenfield venturing are, high cost, high risk due to unknowns, and slow entry due to the setup time. The last is of portfolio investments. Portfolio investment do not require the physical presence of a firm's personal or products on foreign stores. These investments can be made in the form of marketable securities in foreign markets, such as notes, bonds, commercial papers, certificates of deposit, and non controlling shares of stock. They can also be investments in foreign bank accounts or as foreign loans. Investors make decisions to acquire securities or invest money abroad for several reasons: to diversify their portfolio among the markets and locations, to achieve higher rate of returns, to avoid political risk by taking the investments out of the country, to speculate in foreign exchange markets. Portfolio investments can be made either by individuals or through special investment funds. To conclude, before entering into the international market, the firm should crucially decide its operational business strategy. Depending upon the growth and diversification needs of the business, the appropriate mode of international business should be selected. The factors to be considered in mind are ability and willingness of the firm to commit to resources, level of control desired, level of risk a firm is willing to take, the intensity of competition, the quality of infrastructure, etc.